going on YouTube? It's your girl Mercedes. Mercedes gang. You feel me? The gang. Because we don't come with no price tag. Period. Anyways, y'all. We back with another little banger. From my boy Loesta. Go check out his page. I'm going to leave all that information in the description down below. I'm not going to do too much talking, but the video is called Drake Has a Sensitivity Problem. So let's get into this bitch. Let's get into it. Hey, oh no! What the hell did I just do?
Experience Nair Wax Ready Strips. Easiest wax ever. Nair.
Oh my gosh, these
Go to your
ads are
happy
killing me.
price line.
Cool. Like,
Drake has always been known to get in his feelings from time to time. It was the source of millions of memes during the early part of his career and has always been seen as part of his identity. But now, it seems that the emotional rawness
this picture is like, it says it all, I'm not gonna lie.
is mutating into something darker, and in the wake of his defeat in the beef with Kendrick Lamar, it's got him acting out in ways that might result in permanent damage to both the public's perception of him and his legacy as a whole. Because at this point, he's starting to look like a sore loser. It's your boy Loesta, and this is why Drake has a sensitivity problem. Once Not Like Us was released, Drake seemed intent on downplaying the effects that song's success had on him. He claimed on The Heart Part 6 that the whole exchange was a quote-unquote good exercise, even as a song that called him a PDF file beat his streaming records for the most streams of a hip-hop track in a single day on Spotify and the fastest to reach 100.
They not like us. They not like, you can't tell me that song in a banger, bro. I'm sorry, but I have to be, I'm fans of both. They're both great artists, but Kendrick is where I originally started. That's the first person my mom introduced me to when it came to music. So, hey.
100 million streams. Within the blink of an eye, people he thought were his allies like YG and Billie Eilish were dancing to the track, and it was even getting played at elementary school birthday parties. So he tried to take it on his terms, rapping over the BBL Drizzy beat on a Sexy Red track and keeping it lighthearted on social media. At the time, the word from his camp was that he was taking the whole thing in stride. During an appearance on the Flagrant 2 podcast, Lil Yachty saluted Drake for how unbothered he was about it all.
He really did. He didn't give a.
Really?
No. He was genuinely unfazed. I respected it a lot, and I talked to him.
I don't understand. I'm not now. If anybody can correct me in the comment section, let me know. But wasn't Drake the one that started this whole entire thing? And now, you're finally getting a response, but you don't care. Now I'm lost now, because how do you not care? But you started it. The fuck? I'm trying to understand.
Well, that shit didn't bother him. I never saw him down.
And why is Yachty wearing a blue glove, bro? Take that shit off, man.
Ever. I never saw him kicking his fucking foot, holding his head down. You know? And then to a point where I just stopped talking to him about it because I felt like I was the one bringing him the negativity.
But as much as they tried, it looks like people are seeing through the facade and just think the response verifies everything K-Dot said. Kendrick literally thought of everything in Euphoria, even down to Yachty being the one having to do the press run saying Drake wasn't upset. Ultimately, all of this is just words. It's actions that matter when determining how Drake is coping with the very public defeat at the hands of a longtime enemy.
This dude Kendrick is a fucking I can't even call him a troll. I would say more of he brings justice to the table, you know what I'm saying? He speaks the truth, I guess. This dude is a fool. Oh my gosh.
And in those actions, we see that Drake isn't just struggling to handle it well, but also that his behavior follows a long-standing pattern of pettiness and immaturity that's been evident for years. First things first, let's look at the cancellation of TDE affiliate artists in Toronto. After Kendrick's pop-out show and Not Like Us video in which most of the West Coast descended to support him, it seems like Drake has decided to take a zero-tolerance approach to those involved. It all began when Schoolboy Q, who is signed.
My boy Schoolboy Q. You can't fuck with him. That's now for real. He was somebody I was listening to when I was 12, between middle school all the way to the like end of high school. That nigga's a legend, straight up.
Signed to TDE, was supposed to perform in his hometown of Toronto. Just hours before the show, Q broke the news on X to his fans. They just canceled my show in Toronto. Canadian police don't want nobody from TDE performing. Note that initially, he put the blame
Interesting.
on the cops, but in the very next post, he seemed to suggest
Could you pick up an agility ladder for my daughter?
I got you.
I think she's going pro at basketball.
Thank
You got 2 a days going right
Two
now. What you
ads,
think's
like
next
just go on about your business. Go on. What is this? Law. I don't mean to disrespect anybody's language. I just can't pronounce it. Okay, yeah, we done.
that there was maybe someone else pulling the strings and that it might come from Drake's camp, while at the same time issuing stern warnings that he wasn't to be played with. Top was just with Wayne and Baby. Party Next Door just had a show at the Palladium. If we wanted to get y'all, we would have done it. Now, when somebody gets hurt, don't cry. When a fan tried to claim that Schoolboy Q got Rick Ross,
I mean, let's just be real. Schoolboy Q don't play.
To a recent event that we'll also discuss later in this video, Schoolboy Q said, "I don't think you know who I am." In fact, I don't think a lot of you know who I am.
Exactly.
If this happened
Exactly.
just once, it might have been a coincidence. But the same thing was about to happen to TDE's male R&B star, Sir. So sorry to my Toronto fans. The show has been canceled. We're working to reschedule for a later date. Once again, Schoolboy Q was in disbelief.
Nah, this definitely had Drake written all over it. I'm sorry. As much as he talks about Toronto and his house being in Toronto, didn't his house get like trespassed a couple times or something? This definitely has something to do with Drake. I don't care what anybody gotta say.
Ha 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 ha. Take your ass home, boy. Sing on the bus, it's over with. But while it was hard for some to believe that it would be possible for Drake to pull strings like that, a little digging would reveal that the venue which both artists were meant to play is owned by Drake and Live Nation. Although Drizzy fans have attempted
I don't even know what else to say. Like, you getting in the way of another man's bag? Really? Really, Drake? Really? Don't mess with no man's money or woman's money, because they gonna get you. I'm telling you.
Attempted to downplay his involvement in history, the venue was promoted as his project from the very beginning in all of the press coverage. In fact, an article from Toronto Life titled "A Look Inside History, Drake's much-hyped East End concert venue" provided a behind-the-scenes look, which revealed that the venue's artwork is pulled from Drake's own personal collection. Throughout the venue, there are high school photos of Drake, tour set lists, signed Godfather posters, and portraits of Aaliyah and Virgil Abloh. With that kind of involvement in the space, and the shows likely being booked before the beef kicked off, it's entirely possible that Drake had a hand in preventing the shows from happening. Plus, it's not exactly hard to believe that a call like this was made from a man who allegedly filed a cease and desist for Like That to prevent radio airplay, with possible recipients even surfacing in the form of leaked emails. And let's not forget, this is an individual who also reportedly entered streamer.
Wait, okay, so if I'm hearing this correctly, you, like, when it comes to the radio stations in Toronto, or I'm not sure if this is exactly in Toronto, and I'm not sure if I'm saying this correctly or if I'm understanding this correctly, but from what I'm guessing, he was the reason why Not Like Us or Like That, I think it was Like That, wasn't played on the radio over there? I didn't even know celebrities could, like, have that much power. That's actually crazy.
Trainwreck's chat to contest Kendrick's numbers for Not Like Us, as opposed to accepting the song had captivated the masses. Hey, can we take it back to 2022? Can you backdoor Eddie like Spotify backdoored the streams for that one song from that one guy? Said Drake in the chat. All in all, the conduct that he's done in plain sight and what he's allegedly done behind the scenes means that a lot of people feel that everything Yachty said about him taking it to the chin is complete cap. His fans want him to believe that he's unbothered, and they are lying to themselves. He's such a sore loser. We see Kendrick entirely unbothered and off social media, while the other is voting on fan polls and proving Kendrick's lyrics right each day. Left facing the greatest opposition of his life, Drake's team is likely learning that the way he's attempting to cope with the fallout from K-Dot's victory over him isn't doing him any favors. The real issue is that if you look back at Drake's recent behavior, there are growing signs of a volatile temperament. He's been losing losing his cool more often than not, acting childishly, and at times even embarrassing him.
Yeah, because see, like I said, I'm a fan of both, heavy fan of both of them. It was really because of Kendrick that's how I discovered Drake when I was younger. But when I did become a big Drake fan, like, he seemed very chill, or kind of chill in the beginning. But as time like went on and the years went on, I did start to kind of notice some things with Drake that are definitely different now. So
himself. If you have followed Drake's career closely,
there you
know
go.
that
See,
he hasn't exactly been afraid to engage in petty behavior to mock his doubters and enemies. From giving Meek Mill a participation trophy for Wanna Know at OVO Fest to dissing Kid Cudi when the man was literally in rehab, Drake has shown that anyone who has the nerve to challenge him might have to face the consequences.
I'm sorry, the Kid Cudi one, just that was just honestly unnecessary. You know, I don't know what Kid Cudi said to him or who started it first, but like, a man's in rehab. Why is you over here trying to diss somebody that's in rehab? Like, come on, man. Do better.
But where people like Cudi and Meek actively dissed him, the Drake of the past few years has gotten
That just confirmed it then.
touchy to the point that he won't even accept criticism. Back when he released his album For All the Dogs, one man who had some reservations about the project was his former enemy Joe Budden. We documented the whole beef in a separate video.
Pump it up. That's my nigga right there, bro. You can't tell me shit about Joe Budden. Come on now.
And explained that since then, the two appeared to squash the beef. However, when Joe simply stated that he wanted to hear a bit more maturity from Drake after hearing the project, it sparked another conflict between them.
This is like he rapping for the children. Yo, dog, I had to look up how.
Batiste Touch Activated Dry Shampoo. Touch to activate fragrance.
Wow. Fuck, these ads are pissing me off. The video's getting good.
306. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPB.
my oldest was when I finished listening to the album. You are 36. Your birthday is in 20 days. I Googled that too. You will be 37 years old.
That is 100% true. I don't know what to call it. I guess a high school mentality that Drake has. He's hanging out with the younger folks, making music for the younger folks. And it just, I think towards the end of when I was like a senior, that's when I started to realize Drake's behavior, and I wasn't really fucking with it. I didn't even fuck with that new album, or the album All For All the Dogs, because I'm like, I know exactly what this is about. I know exactly what this is about to be on. And Joe Budden pretty much just kind of proved my point.
Get the fuck away from some of these younger niggas.
Thank you.
And stop fucking these 25-year-olds. I'm want to hear adult Drake rapping for adult people.
He wants to see him elevate his mindset. I don't know who that is 36 hanging out with some 25-year-olds, you know, this and that. That's just kind of weird to me.
No, you're not gonna hear that.
That's my issue with him today.
You're not gonna hear that because
He rapping for the kids, the streams,
the Instagram
accolades,
comments, the algorithm.
Yeah,
I'm rapping for this. No,
he ain't really rapping. He ain't trying to rap for me.
No.
Yeah, I just think I miss the Drake that was rapping for the rappers. I
Yeah.
miss the Drake that when he dropped, the rappers hit him. Not these little fucking kids. I don't give a fuck about you and Kai Cenat. That's gonna sound like hate. Go find some niggas your fucking age.
He keeping it 100. He keeping it 100.
Hang out with them. Get some of that sauce. These kids.
Instead of acknowledging that Joe maybe had a point, Drake responded by flaunting his wealth. You left music behind to do what you're doing in this clip because this is what actually pays your bills. You switched careers because the things that pop into your brain had you broke, living check to check. And the raps you wrote had 450 men showing up to your shows in Dusty and Nietzsche jeans to screw up their face to Mood Music 29 and pretend you are the GOAT. Please, to any artist that's doing what they feel is right, don't let these opinions affect your mindset after the fact. This guy is a poster child of frustration and surrendering. If you need to put it in simpler terms, Drizzy concluded, I own a 767. He owns a modest house in the 973 and flies first class on special occasions. From there, it just continued to
What's
get
wrong
worse.
with that?
With Drake sliding into Joe's
What's wrong with that though? He got a job, family's taken care of, house taken care of, kids taken care of. I think that's kind of the problem with everybody. You don't gotta be super rich and this and that and da da da. As long as you're successful and you're happy, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? Like, people that just flaunt their stuff, you asking to get robbed, you asking for trouble in a way. You know what I'm saying? Be more like J. Cole, a little bit more preserved. I mean, shit, be more like Kendrick. Like, same thing, you know, preserved, private, not, you know, being so flashy. Like, I just don't understand this whole concept. We gotta get rich, you gotta get rich. Okay, but I don't want to just be, I want to be successful, not just rich and flaunting all my, I want to be successful and happy and at peace. That's what it's all about. That's the whole point of, you know, doing what they're doing, is to take care of their family, take care of business, stand on business, like on some real. So I don't know how to feel about that little comment Drake made. It's just I understand he's defending himself, but also in a way, like Luisa said, you're not taking any criticism. It's okay to take criticism. That's not a bad thing. So I think, you know, Drake just kind of needs to, you know, find some folks and just hear them out, like, straight up. Gather some folks and be like, hey, man, what is wrong with me? Like, is there, you know, like, what are some things that I could work on? You feel me? Like, trust me, it's not that hard.
DMs to make it clear that although his feelings were clearly hurt, he still wanted to make it clear that he felt he was above him.
It sounds like he think that this is like
Put a battery in his
beef
back.
time. Like,
Dang, these ads are getting me.
Amazing got Gabriella to the school dance. Amazing starts at CSL Plasma. Donate plasma today and receive up to $700 your first month. You can help create medicines that save lives while making a difference in your own. CSL
What?
Plasma. Do the amazing.
No! Ah! Ugh, shit. I could have skipped that bitch. Hold on. Okay.
I want to reiterate, I'm happier than I've ever been in life. I don't have small.
Man.
I don't even understand. I don't even get the message, but cool. Yeah, I'm not sure why you went crazy like that. I like the album. This ain't 2016. I got no beef. Get your shit off, though. As a matter of fact, nobody's happier for you than me. Because you bringing up my friends and the bitches I fuck like you know anything about that. Keep it music. I don't give a fuck what you listen to in your free time, because the people's opinion I care about don't have free time.
If this was an isolated incident, it could easily be seen as just a case of the wounds from their previous beef still festering. But instead, it would be part of a trend of Drake and his entire crew not being able to take any sort of challenge to do better, or getting checked for poor behavior without it being met with animosity. Much like Joe Budden, Charlamagne and Drake hadn't always had the best relationship, but they seem to have buried the hatchet from the days where Charlamagne said there were 3 sexualities, which were gay, straight, and Drake.
Because I always say it's 3 sexual orientations out here. It's gay, straight, and Drake.
And just as Joe had his reservations about For All the Dogs, it was the Breakfast Club host suggesting that the track Slime You Out with SZA basically came and went, which had Drake hitting up IG to act up. You kinda wearing me out, G, like you really obsessed with me or something for years. Like you look in the mirror and wish you seen my reflection type shit. Whatever you gotta do to let it out. I'm sure your 435 loyal fans will stand by you, you fucking goof. Since then, there have been numerous victims, including none other than the needle drops Anthony Fantano. Over the years, Anthony has never been the biggest fan of Drizzy's work, with the exception of If You're Reading This It's Too Late.
Bomb album. It was a bomb album, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't finna cap on that one.
No album has ever earned an impressive score from the internet's busiest music nerd. And the less said about Fantano's views on his last few projects, the better.
Once again, I'll sum this up by saying this is just a very uninspired record from Drake. Not a whole lot going on here creatively. A few decent tracks here and there, but nothing coming together into a great project here. And yeah, feeling a light 3 on this one. Yeah, this is Drake album.
Oh my goodness. He said I'm feeling a light 3. Oh my god. Damn. 3.
It's not good.
Considering how unreceptive to criticism he is these days, it's actually surprising how long it took him to maliciously slide into the music critics' DMs. but it happened. And initially, Fantano tried to shoot him some bail with a video that suggested Drake had sent him a vegan cookie recipe. But for whatever reason, he just couldn't let it go, even when Fantano tried to spare him the embarrassment of real DMs which Drake released himself.
They make Drake look like the most bitter, emotional, passive-aggressive loser I've ever seen. This man unironically posted.
I was gonna say, do y'all think he, and I'm pretty sure this might be the case, but do y'all think he's only acting up like this because of what happened to him in high school and him coming up in the rap industry or in the rap game or whatever? Like, people didn't really take him seriously in the beginning when it came to the rap game and everything. And I don't know, I heard Drake's just been doing a lot, messing with everybody's girl, you know, doing things that I know the old Drake really wouldn't do much of. I mean, I can't say, I don't know him personally, but just from a fan's perspective, it's like, I've definitely, I feel like his true colors are coming out for sure.
This to his story. Like he did some. Your existence is a light one, and the one is cause you are alive. And cause you somehow wiped a black girl.
This is a YouTuber.
I just don't get what type of response you think that this is gonna breed from people. No one outside of the yes men and the peers that you have are gonna look at this and be like, ha, you really got him. They're gonna be like, oh, you watch this dude unironically who shits on your music and this is the best response that you could come up with? A barrage of 3 messages that look like they came off the back of you drinking too early in the evening.
After that, there was Rap Radar's Elliot Wilson. After Drake hopped on platforms like Caleb Presley's Sunday Conversations and Bobby Altoff's Really Good Podcast,
I ain't gonna lie, both of those content creators are, their content's great. It's great.
to do interviews rather than taking the time to speak to actual hip-hop outlets, Elliot expressed that he would love to see Drake sit down for a serious chat with someone instead of engaging in comedic skits. But Drake wouldn't or couldn't see any validity in what he said, and once again, tried to sun him as footage emerged of Wilson interviewing Trippie Redd at a music festival. LOL man, shit's on not coming to his platform for a second time, and now Elliot 10 toes doing Yes Jules run-up interviews at Rolling Loud. Just admit the youth took over, big dog. Now, there are likely some Drake fans out there who think that everything up until now has been a perfectly valid response. The real problem though is that Drizzy isn't just leaving their issues in the past, he's dragging them into everything he does. And it's now gotten to the point where he's accusing regular journalists like Elliot of being a snitch just for doing his job during the Kendrick beef.
I have to view it like I'm just really against him. So when he dropped Family Matters, it was just like, I was like, yo, you dropping this tonight? He'd be back like, yeah, whatever, LOL, like, da-da-da. And then he sent me a rat emoji. And I'm like, I didn't like that shit. Don't send me a fucking rat emoji.
How you gonna be mad at a journalist for doing their job? That's why they're journalists. Like, that part I don't get. Like, I don't know. I feel like if I was ever in that position, you know, I don't know. It depends on really what was said. You get what I'm saying? And if there was no disrespect and he was just doing his part, his job, then he was just doing his job. You can't be mad at somebody for doing their job. That's like somebody being mad at you for rapping when other people are rapping too. That doesn't make sense. So.
It's funny because Drake's the kind of dude that even if you don't fuck with you, he still follows you. He's not an unfollow kind of dude. At the end of the day, you know, Kendrick clearly won. And I got the calls, you know, from off, you know, OGs. You know, I'm not really welcome in Toronto right now. But you know, like I'm from New York.
Wow.
You know, like I grew up in New York City. You know, you don't go through other people's projects, right? Your projects is your project.
Chevy Equinox EV starting at $34,995. Go EV without changing a thing. Chevrolet.
Dare to smell Nair like never before.
Man,
Worship
please,
yourself.
That shit probably smells
I
like
would not go to
fish.
Toronto if me and Drake weren't good. So that obviously makes sense. So, you know, yeah, I just think it's a tough time, man. It's a tough time to manage.
At 53 years of age, Elliot Wilson is now being told that he can't enter a city because of how things have played out. And what's more shocking is that these days, he actually has valid reasons to feel threatened. In recent years, Drake has tried to hide his sensitivity behind a tough exterior, mainly by associating with real criminals. He's been linked to the groups like the Toronto-based Harlem Boys, Galloway Boys, the GGG Crew, and even the Hells Angels.
See, that one right there kind of pisses me off. The Hells Angels, like, come on, man. For real? For real?
After he was robbed in his own city in an alleged setup, the once soft rapper has now aligned himself with people who have real street credentials, and it was an infamous motorcycle gang who allegedly carried out his bidding by jumping Rick Ross in Vancouver. After Rose, who has sent his own shots at Drake by coining the phrase BBL Drizzy and releasing Champagne Moments, played Not Like Us at a show, a Hell's Angel member by the name of Andres Terrazakis attacked Rose and his DJ.
While the song's playing,
and as the footage began to
that's crazy. You got somebody jumped over some words that were exchanged.
surface on social media, Drake was seen liking the video, letting the world know that he endorsed the violent response to Kendrick's song being played. Meanwhile,
so what you trying to say? Kendrick's song is the reason why everybody's being aggressive and fighting or some shit? Or like just the fact that you're a bitch because you got somebody jumped? Like, I'm sorry, but that's a bitch move. You want to fight the man or you got beef with him, do it face to face. Like, do it yourself. Why are you paying somebody else to do it? If you big dog. I'm not trying to talk no shit, but I'm just saying, like, that applies for anybody. If somebody gets jumped or you a part of jumping somebody, like, that's not cool, man. Yeah, just do 1v1 straight up. Be fair. Don't try to be on that weird shit.
Rose continued to troll his attackers.
Let me tell you something. When the first dude stepped up to Rose, the little short fat one that looked like Bam Bam Bigelow from wrestling, when he stepped up.
Oh, wow.
And then I squat down in his eyes and told him what I said. Basically, boy, if I hit you, I'm going to see everything you ate for the last 2 days. His balls dropped out of his ass. He never said another word. He never did nothing. He was a straight buster. Then the nigga behind him said, I know MMA.
And then, yeah.
And then I got hit with a drink. I'm still convinced ain't no nigga punch me.
But while Rick Ross made it out relatively unscathed, there have been a few other instances where those coming at Drake have received a real beatdown. Not necessarily from Drizzy himself, but rather from his crew. Back in 2016, Mo G began taking aim at Drake.
So, like, you can't fight your own actual battles or something? I don't understand. Like, I really don't understand.
And his producer OVO 40 after allegedly receiving zero credit for the work that he did on various upcoming tracks from the label. Over time, he lashed out online.
Have you ever heard in the history of hip-hop a man isolates creativity and helps make Billboard hits but doesn't get paid $1 for it, one credit for it, here stuck in the hood? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense, but exposing these niggas will make sense. Fuck you, on. Oliver's a fucking snake, double-headed snake. Alright, just to let the world know, I never got paid no 12 grand. For the record, I'm not signed to OVO, and all my real fans have been rocking with me from day one. Check the history. I always delete all my posts, and I deleted it because I got bigger info coming to you right now.
As he threatened to leak Drake's music, Mo G would be so badly beaten that it would result in a hospitalization, telling the world in an IG post that—
Nah, see, now I'm starting to think this nigga whack as fuck. You whack as hell for that. How you gonna take this man's creativity and not even pay him? And the fact that he finally decides to actually expose what's really going on and who you really are, and you put him in the hospital, once again, you're affecting another man's bag when all you have to do is actually just stand on business. That shit I don't like. That's some bitch shit right there. Now I don't give a fuck. That's crazy.
This is what happens when you speak from the heart. # dirty industry. Since
Wow.
then, what was once a promising rap career has been derailed. Reportedly all because he spoke out against Drake and his crew. In a now deleted Instagram post, Mo G spoke out about his inability to get any work in the city after everything went down.
They blackballed him. They straight up blackballed that boy. See, that's what I'm saying. Completely unfair. He does the work, does his part, and y'all just screw him over. And that's why I be telling straight up to everybody, I work for myself. I don't care. I don't even... Getting in the industry is just... It's not a good idea at all, to be honest.
Fans, I'm being blackballed. For the past 2 years now, I'm banned from 99.9% of studios in Toronto. I'm banned from all the clubs. I'm banned from doing shows. I'm banned from doing appearances. When I get lucky and find a studio, engineers mess up my whole thing. They turn up my headphones on full blast on some hater shit. My word, they move like Joe Budden. They don't mix and master my music. They refuse to do it. All types of hate I get. Toronto is a city full of dick riders and haters. My word on everything I love. And they wonder why I stopped rapping for 2 years. There's no opportunity. It's simple. Throughout these examples, we see the danger.
Could you pick up an agility ladder for my daughter?
I got you. Crazy.
Thank you.
You ruined a man's career.
Want luminous skin year-round? It's not rocket science. It's our skin
get your
science.
ashy asses home.
Dangerous side of Drake's touchy mindset. Because now that he's no longer the kid from the suburbs and is a well-connected man with quote-unquote mob ties, he can take out his frustration in new, harmful ways. And unfortunately, it looks like his whole crew is responsible for this mindset, as it now appears that his producer, OVO40, has been throwing his weight around too. Recently, DJ, radio host, and comedian Cypher Sounds has shared a story about the producer threatening to attack him. It all stemmed from a social media post where he was tagged in that featured the track Not Like Us. Within hours of it going live, Cypher asked for it to be taken down, but this wasn't enough for 40, who said he would catch the hands the next time they were in the same place.
He said, how about I go to your city and play a song where someone calls you a pedophile? I'm like, okay. And he goes, I knew you never liked us. You act nice, but you're really a bitch. It's on site. When I see you, look at you, you're laughing. When I see you, I'm gonna smack you in the mouth.
But as is always the case, no one except for Cypher could really take it seriously, and saw it as an extension of the OVO team and Drake struggling to come to terms with their heaviest defeat to date. 40 trying to act hard is one of the funniest things I've ever heard. They're going through it at the sweatshop. In the wake of the defeat, Drake and his crew have done nothing to prove that he isn't a sore loser. Instead, their conduct has been borderline childish and proved that they can't take criticism even when it may be valid.
Very much 100% completely, I agree. I do not disagree at all.
But going back even further, this really shouldn't be a surprise, because whether it was his personal or professional life, Drake has never been good at handling things when they don't play out the way that he hoped. To look at how Drake's sensitivity leads to issues when he doesn't get what he wants, then look no further at how he's handled the new partners of some of his former love interests. For example, after he got all hung up on Georgia Smith when she was 11 years younger than him, he shamed Georgia's new boyfriend Joel Compass for not being as successful as him, claiming your boyfriend—
Who cares? Who cares? See, no, that's what I'm saying. Childish. You're not happy. You're miserable. Like, man. I remember somebody even tried to say, like, Drake was, like, a little jealous of Kendrick's life. The fact that he has a wife and kids and he's happy. He's unbothered. He's not on social media like that. You know, he's successful. He has a lot of loved ones, you know, friends, family. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got it all together. That man has one life in general. And I feel like Drake, or not me personally, but from what I heard from this current video that I was watching personally, this person did claim that they you know, could see the envious, you know what I mean? Like I said, it all matters about whether if these people are happy. That's it. Does the money really matter? It does have its, you know, benefits when it comes to trips, bills, this, that, taking care of things, whatever. But money comes and goes. Money ain't going nowhere. Anybody could become successful. Future became successful at 30 years old. Anybody could do it at any age. Like, buddy, it's not all about the glamour and, oh, I'm better than you and I got more money than you. Like, it's not always about that shit. It's not. And I think a bit of the younger generation, well, no, I can't even say that. It's really just more on Drake, to be honest. Yeah.
do what I do for a living, but way less wavy. Then, years later, he did the same thing to tennis icon Serena Williams. Previously thought to be good friends, Drake used to sit courtside at her games and very publicly thirsted after her. I cannot wait to put it on you and make you sweat during our match this weekend. But years after their situationship fizzled out, he decided to randomly swipe at her husband, Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian, on the song Middle of the Ocean from her loss, where he said, "Sidebar Serena, your husband is a groupie. He claimed we don't got a problem, but no boo, it is. You like coming for sushi. We might pop up on him at will like Suzuki." In response, Alexis let it be known that he was happy to be his wife's biggest supporter. Meanwhile, the internet dragged Drake over the coals. Imagine being the softest little baby in hip-hop and thinking you're coming out swinging against all these successful women who don't give a
Agatha, you were born evil.
It's kind of speaking facts.
On September 18th.
fuck about you. Drake is such a loser, acting like an incel. He fucking disgusts me. Really?
I wouldn't call nobody no loser, this or that, but it's like your behavior, yes, your behavior is disgusting. You going after women that are married and happy and at peace with the man that they love, and that man is not you. Like, dude, get gone. That's childish. Let them be happy. Let them be married. Let them do their thing. It wasn't meant for you. You know what I mean? And it's just annoying as fuck for a grown man with all this success and this that coming for women that are married and just didn't want him. Like, that's what happens. Not everybody's gonna want you. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter how successful you are, how handsome or how pretty you are. There's 7 billion, 8 billion, who knows, people in the world. Not everybody is going to, you know what I mean? That's just life. That's just what it is, though.
It's no surprise that after all that went down, Serena was happy to dance on his grave at the ESPYs this year.
Some of the best athletes in the world are right here in this room. Some of the strongest, fastest, and most skilled people ever are right here. And if I've learned anything this year, it's that none of us, not a single one of us, not even me, should ever pick a fight with Kendrick Lamar.
They not like us. They not like us.
Yo! Oh my gosh! Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Serena Williams, you know what? I salute to her. That's all I gotta say.
Will make your hometown not.
You better go ahead and stand up for yours. Fuck out of here.
Thank you. The next time Drake sits courtside at a Raptors game, they're gonna Forrest Gump him. Sight's taken.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Hey.
But it's not just his love life where he struggled to hear the word no. It's been in his career as well. Because
seems like a lot of men have that problem. They don't know how to just accept the word no. Like, no, deadass, today, literally today, a current person did message me on some, like, trying to flirt or whatever. And, of course, I'm focused on my career and myself. I'm not trying to hurt nobody or do anything, you know what I mean? And this person straight up told me, like, that's why black women are the worst. And I'm like, because I said no. And I'm like, you know, if Drake has that issue, I'm like, I'm not surprised. Because it seems like, I'm not saying all men, not all of them. Hell no. Most men, or at least real men, are very respectful, very kind, you know to just walk away. That's that. You know what I mean? But some of these other men out here, they be saying the most ruthless, evilest things just because you said no. So, I can only, now, I've never heard much about, how women react to no. If I get a no, I'm walking away. That's that. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That word no apparently pisses off a lot of people. But it's in the dictionary, so you better learn it. You better learn it quick.
The world overlooked his project that he worked so hard on in order to focus on one verse from K-Dot. He couldn't handle it and basically went on a smear campaign to try and downplay it. Before the release of his album, Nothing Was the Same, Drake was adamant that this was the album that would ensure he got the respect he felt he earned, but had been withheld from him as he was still seen as an outsider. And this time around, he pushed the album like no project he's ever released before or since.
I mean, I was just talking about it today. Like, my favorite part about promoting the album is just coming and being with the people, so So yeah, and especially look at the young people. Like, you look beautiful today. Like, it's great.
Oh my gosh, the fact that he said, "Look at the young people," it made my stomach hurt immediately. Like, knowing what's going on now, it's like, oh my gosh. Woo, shit.
Right on. So I mean, it's refreshing. You know, it's always.
If I could tell you one thing about this album, it's just that, you know, I'm proud of it. It's an extremely concise body of work. Is it my best album? No, my best album is going to be my next album, and I'll continue saying that for the rest of my career.
Although he kept it humble,
I like the motivation and the humbleness and everything. But dude, what does it matter if you're an outcast or not? See, I'm a straight up outcast, but I don't give a fuck. You know, I'm doing my own thing, got my own situation going on, this and that. I'm happy. So it's like, as long as, and I think this is where Drake kind of gets it a little confused. Like, I'm like, don't you love rap and this is your passion, right? So you should only be doing it because you love to do it and you're happy about it, not to get validation from other people or want to be in whatever you're trying to get into with mob ties or whatever. You get the point.
Moment, Drake clearly had a lot of faith in the record, claiming it was the finest of 2013
It
as
was.
it was released.
It was really a good album. I'm not gonna lie to him. It was a good album.
I do have the best album of the year, though. I will say that.
Nice. Better than Magna Carta.
I think I just have one of the best bodies of work of the year. I worked hard on that thing, man.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
With the release date set for late September, it seemed like Drake was primed to dominate the narrative in the final months of 2013. But unfortunately for Drizzy and his ego, a guest verse from Kendrick that dropped in mid-August was still shaking the fabric of hip-hop by the time that he wanted everyone to pay attention to his record. When Big Sean dropped the song Control with Kendrick Lamar and Jay Electronica, he was not only overshadowed, but unleashed an atomic bomb on hip-hop with K-Dot's verse. On top of controversially declaring himself to be the king of New York, Kendrick told everyone that he was putting them on notice and he was coming for the crown whether they liked it or not.
That's what I'm saying. Kendrick been claiming he was coming for the crown since the beginning of his career. Like, he straight up dissed everybody in the beginning of his career. I mean, I'm just saying, some of these rap dudes, you know, that we have now, or that were along in that era when Kendrick was like really popping off, y'all should know. Y'all should already know. He was in the booth already claiming to be the king of rap back in the day. Like, come on now. Let's be realistic here though.
Cortez, this red Corvette synonymous. I'm usually homeboys with the same niggas I'm rhyming with. But this is hip hop and them niggas should know what time it is.
Yep.
Experience Nair Wax
got out
Ready
everybody.
Strips.
Dang,
Easiest
nearly.
wax ever.
Dude,
Nair.
I don't care. Your little
Olivia and Mitch
mustache,
now share a
man.
space. Not so
Peach
much
fuzz.
taste. Seriously?
That's
And when
a
she was stuck
whack-ass
on marrying
name.
their style.
And that goes for Jamaica, Big Crit Wale.
Hey, come on, bro. I like why he got to come to my boy Cole though. I ain't gonna lie. I love Cole. I always love J. Cole. Him and Kendrick are like, you know what I mean? For me. Yeah, I love them both. As for Drake, I still got love for the dude, but this behavior gotta change, man. I really do love his music, but he gotta do something better. You gotta grow up, man. It's time to grow up. Let's just be real. I went to his concert in March. I was only there to go see J. Cole, and I have a whole clip of it. Hopefully, maybe I'll be able to put it in. We'll see, but yeah.
Shateen, Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky, Drake, Big Sean, Jay Electron, Tyler McMillan. I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas.
With one verse, Kendrick let it be known that his only goal was to be recognized as the greatest, but it was all love. While those he left out felt salty,
yeah.
a lot of the rappers he
That's definitely something I respect Kendrick for. It's all love, but you know, in this game, it's competition. It's all love, but it's competition. That's like, you know, when I was playing ball, you know, I was going against my homegirl. We was homegirls and everything off the court, but as soon as we got on that court and the game started, we weren't friends. Not at least, you know, not like that.
understood what he was getting at and felt that he should feel that way.
You know, the control thing, man, like, you know, as soon as he saw me, he said, yo, thank you so much for just, you know, for understanding and not taking the verse the wrong way.
Right. I like that.
And I was like, Kendrick, you don't know I'm different, bro. I understand. Like, I listen to rap.
Right.
I understand.
It's the sport of hip hop.
That's what I'm saying. It's a competitiveness. It's not anything personal.
It's the sport of hip hop. He
Right.
shouted out his peers, and he was like, yo, you know, I want to take something from your fan base, Mac Miller's fan base. You know, I want to take all of that. When is that not the? When
He's
is that
trying to
not
create
the,
a creative, big ass imagination. I know what he's trying to do.
the mission.
But while colleagues like Pusha T appreciated the friendly sparring, Drake was left distraught that the whole thing was about to be brought up in every interview before Nothing the Same's release. And when it did, he came off as nothing but salty. And you guessed it, over
Drake is a good artist. He needs to stop being like that. That's what I'm saying, dude. It's just the sport of it. Come on, man.
Nah, I feel like that's it. It's like, you know, he's the new guy to love, and of course, I mean, rightfully so. He's super talented, you know. But thank you. But he's but he's like, you know, he is the underdog that's extremely hungry. You know what I'm saying? And he's doing his thing really well. And that verse was, he's giving people like moments. You know, like that verse was a moment to talk about. Are you listening to it now at this point in time? Okay. And then it was real cool for like, you know, a couple weeks. But like, if I asked you, for example, like,
okay, it kind of sounds like now he's trying to like downplay the verse a little bit.
How does that verse start?
After very clearly showing his hand with those comments, Drake then tried to walk it back as if he didn't care. But the energy was still one of disdain for what K-Dot had accomplished as he tried his best to downplay it and sun him.
Now mind you, it'll go on in Complex and Rap Radar, give it like verse of the millennium and all that shit or whatever. But like, I'm just saying, it's like, you know, I remember like somebody like asking me, you know, or maybe it was you that was like, is Kendrick Lamar your biggest competition like in this generation or whatever? Yeah. And I think that Kendrick has like the utmost potential, man. Like, you know, I see Kendrick tomorrow, I'm adapt him. I didn't feel the way about that verse. I get it. I get the moment. Like, you know, he's a good guy. And like, I know that verse had no malice behind it because I saw him 5 days later at the VMAs and it was all love. So it's like, he didn't come on there on some wild, like, yeah, I'm in New York, fuck everybody, don't look at me. Like, I'm the king. So it was one of those things, it's like, I almost wish he had come in there on that shit because I kind of lost like a little respect for the sentiment of the verse. If it's really fuck everybody, then...
Oh, come on, man. You see what I'm saying? How did you go from it was a great verse and there was no type of like, wrong or bad intention behind it, and now you're saying this? Which one is it, Drake? Come on, boy. Like I said, it's just the sport of the game. That's it. Like, damn.
It needs to be fuck everybody. It just can't be halfway for the sake of the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, that's just how I feel. I still like when it comes to competition, I'm more worried about consistency. I'm more worried about bodies of work.
As the press run for his album progressed, Drake just kept letting his feelings be exposed whenever he was asked about it, such as when his Billboard cover story led to a question about K-Dot. I didn't have anything to say about it. It just sounded like an ambitious thought to me. That's all it was. I know good and well Lamar's not murdering me at all in any platform. So when the day presents itself, I guess we can revisit the topic. Meanwhile, Kendrick kept playing it cool when asked if there was any tension between them, while for the first time acknowledging that Drake was not like him.
He said old school Gemini, hell yeah. I ain't gonna lie. You could definitely tell Kendrick is unbothered as fuck. He's just doing his own thing, and Drake is just like, oh my gosh, like, you know what I mean? It's kind of funny to me a little bit.
Wasn't no issue from the jump.
Right.
You know, I think people talk about beef. It's just a whole nother dynamic. I can't see myself going bar for bar with Drake. You know, we're two different type of artists.
While it'd still be a decade until Kendrick really did go bar for bar with Drake, he'd clearly heard Drake's attempts to discredit the verse and its impact. So when K-Dot appeared in the BET Awards cypher alongside his TDE family, he seemed to take a little jab at Drake's feelings about the verse, even referencing his beloved album in the lyrics.
Yeah, and nothing been the same since they dropped Control and tucked the sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes.
Damn!
Jokes on you, high five.
With that show-stealing verse, Kendrick continued to seize the agenda. So by the time that Drake sat down for another cover story in 2014, he was still being asked about K-Dot. And in the process, he finally admitted that the whole thing had derailed his attempts to promote his record. Hilariously, he also suggested that he was above the whole thing. Where it became an issue is that I was rolling out an album while that verse was still bubbling. So my album rollout became about this thing. What am I supposed to say? Nah, we'll be buddy-buddy. Mind you, I never once said he's a bad guy or that I don't like him. I think he's a fucking genius in his own right. But I also stood my ground as I should. And with that came another step. Which then I have to realize I'm being baited and I'm not gonna fall. Michael Jordan doesn't have to play pickup to prove that he could play ball. No offense. But I'm not gonna give you the chance to shake me necessarily, because I feel great. There is no real issue.
Okay, so he, in a way, he's kind of, it's like a 50-50. He's right, but at the same time, it's still a little, you know what I mean? He never called him a bad guy. He never said he didn't exactly like him, you know. But I think the part that's, like, confusing everybody is just, like, the fact that you just try to downplay it. That's the thing. Like, you went from showing love to downplaying at the same time. I can't even understand that concept, but I feel like maybe if he was just honest from the beginning about how he truly felt, you know, it could have went two ways. Either they could have been sizzled this out, or it could have gotten worse, depending on what Drake would have said if he was really honest about it, you know. Like I said, he was giving all types of mixed emotions with that interview. One minute he was showing love to the verse, and the next minute he's just downplaying it. So, yeah, I don't know how to feel about this statement either.
Despite the level of petulance he displayed in handling this instance of Kendrick overshadowing him, things were about to get even worse for Dre. Just look at his response to losing the 2014 Grammy Award for Best Rap Album to Macklemore. When the Thrift Shop rapper picked up the honor, there was a lot of discussion about how it probably should have gone to Kendrick for his album Good Kid, Mad City.
That was a banger! I'm sorry, I had to say that one was a banger. Y'all ain't listen to that album? Go listen to it now. Banger. I need to stop.
Macklemore actually texted him to apologize. That left Drake, who had already had the Macklemore actually texted him.
You got robbed. I wanted you to win. You should have. It's weird and sucks that I robbed you. I was gonna say that during the speech. Then the music started playing during my speech and I froze. Anyway, you know what it is. Congrats on this year and your music. Appreciate you as an artist and as a friend. Much love. I feel like Thrift Shop, I mean, it was a pretty, like, big song when it came out. Like, everybody was listening to it. It was playing on the radio, like, every other day. You know. Yeah. I don't know. Do you guys think Macklemore deserved that Grammy? Let me know in the comment section below.
To apologize. That left Drake, who had already had the promotion of Nothing Was the Same overshadowed by Kendrick's control verse, resentful. So what did he do? He lashed out. That shit was whack as fuck, he said in an interview. I was like, you won. Why are you posting your text message? Just chill. Take your W.
Oh, he posted it? Wow. What just happened? What just happened? Oh no. My internet went out. That's just great. I did not expect that to happen. Okay. I'll be back, y'all. The fuck? Fuck off. Sorry, y'all. I was arguing with my brother. Well, okay. Well, we're waiting on the Wi-Fi to come back. While we wait on that, yeah, this whole situation with Drake, it is pretty wild, to say honestly. I really can't believe that this is even like happening the way it is, but it was obviously meant for some of this stuff to be exposed. You know, I'm pretty sure more will be exposed over time, but this is honestly crazy. I mean, I don't think Drake has been shadowed all his whole entire career over Kendrick. It's just more the fact that, like, I guess people just wanted to know truly how he felt about the verse. You're like I said, once again, oh, we got Wi-Fi back. Cool. If it'll play. Come on, play for me. Play. But my point is like I said, in the beginning, he seemed to show love to the verse, show love to the competitiveness, all this and that and the fourth. But on the other hand, you know, he was dissing. He was downplaying the verse. And honestly, hey, if somebody ever downplayed my stuff after trying, like, pretending to show love, that's where I'm gonna get a little pissed off. Like, now it's like either you showing real love or fake love. Which one is it? I might have to refresh this. I don't even know. What's going on? Okay. Oh.
When migraine strikes, you're faced with a choice. Accept the trade-offs of treating, or push through the pain.
Kid Mad City. So much so that Macklemore actually texted him to apologize. That left Drake, who had already had the promotion of Nothing Was the Same overshadowed by Kendrick's Control verse, resentful. So what did he do? He lashed out. That shit was whack as fuck, he said in an interview. I was like, you won. Why are you posting your text message? Just chill. Take your W. And if you feel you didn't deserve it, go get better.
Dang, dude. Why he being like that? Hold on, wait a minute now. The man just apologized and everything. Now, should he be now, I don't know why he posted it. I think maybe that's what really set off Drake right there, was the posting. I don't know why Macklemore posted that. I mean, I guess in a way to show not only his fans, but Drake's fans that he did deserve to win that Grammy. You know, we're talking about Drake. But for Drake to sit here and go on a full rant about it, it's like, dude, you gotta chill. You gotta take a chill pill. Real talk.
Better music. It felt cheap. It didn't feel genuine. Why do that? Why feel guilt? You think those guys would pay homage to you if they won? This is how the world works. He made a brand of music that appealed to more people than me, Hove, Kanye, and Kendrick. Whether people want to say it's racial or whether it's just the fact that he's tapped into something we can't tap into, that's just how the cards fall. Own your shit. To name just Kendrick, that shit made me feel funny. No, in that case, you robbed everybody. We all need text messages. On the other hand, Kendrick Lamar dealt with the situation graciously.
Okay, but what I want to know, if Drake, you won the Grammy, and let's say somebody else was supposed to win that Grammy, aren't you supposed to be sending them text messages if you think they actually deserved it instead of you? I'm just saying. I don't know.
Even suggesting that Macklemore didn't need to do it whatsoever. Across several interviews, K-Dot said that the heist rapper had nothing to apologize for. It's well deserved, he told XXL.
Exactly.
He did what he did, man. He went out there and hustled and grinded.
Yep.
Everything happens for a reason. The universe comes back around. That's how it go. That text surprised me, but Macklemore is a genuine dude, he said on another occasion. However it panned out, I wish him much success. He touched people's souls, and no one could take that away.
Okay.
Really, the whole Grammy moment was incredible. Not everyone gets that shot. Here, we see a huge difference.
At least
between
you see a big difference between Kendrick and what Kendrick said and what Drake said. Drake was just straight up coming for this dude. Kendrick, though, he stated some very valid points. You did not need to apologize. You earned that fair and square. Not that many people get to live in that type of moment, and that he wishes you nothing but success and happiness. Like, that is all I would ever wish for anybody, to be honest.
Take an L without looking like a total sore loser, and how to make that loss seem like a win by retaining your dignity.
He respected the L, period. That's just what it was, and Drake didn't. I'm sorry, that's how I'm taking it. That, like, Kendrick respected his L. Sometimes that's all you gotta do. For real.
Because when it comes to not damaging his reputation when things don't go his way, it's really never been his strong suit. Then we have his resentment towards The Weeknd. Back when his fellow Toronto artist first emerged, Drake was undeniably vital in helping to bring him to mainstream audiences, even tweeting out his lyrics to Wicked Games from House of Balloons. From there, he enlisted The Weeknd to help.
Y'all see this? Yes. Certificately signed by him himself. The real deal, The Weeknd. You can't fuck with my boy, Drake. I'm sorry. This one I will not let you fuck with. I'm not even gonna cap to you. I'm sorry. That's crazy. He really had beef with, I heard he had beef with The Weeknd because like apparently Drake was like doing some real shady stuff with like around The Weeknd or whatever, or like taking his music or something. We'll get into it. Let me go hang this up. It's crazy. Okay. Let's get back into this junk. I'll see my boy Weeknd back there.
Him right on Take Care, with The Weeknd later admitting that he sacrificed several of his own songs for Drake's project. But Drake showed his true colors when, instead of signing to OVO, The Weeknd opted to launch his own imprint with Republic. In response, Drake was on Twitter sounding somewhere between a vengeful mob boss and a spiteful ex-girlfriend when he said, "You won't get away with just a thank you. You owe me a favor." Since then, Drake has tried to downplay the extent of The Weeknd's work on Take Care, while also acting like he never felt a
Could you pick up an agility ladder for my daughter?
I got
For
you.
real. She's going pro at basketball.
Thank you.
We got 2 days
Thank you.
going right
Yeah.
now. So what you think's the next step?
way in the first place.
With Abel, we had our run. You know, we had our moments on Take Care, and you know, my features on his projects, and he just really
True Love. That was a good ass song. I'm not gonna lie.
came to me at one point, came to all of us and was like, look, like I don't want to sign under another artist because I feel like I could be just as big or bigger, and I want to start my own thing. And it was never like, I'm to this day, I'm always excited, always super happy for all those guys.
Now, with the benefit of hindsight, The Weeknd knows just how much of a bullet he dodged, declaring that "I thank God that I never signed my life away" on All to Myself. Because if we learned anything about Drake's temperament in recent years, it's that if Abel never threatened to get bigger than him, it seems highly likely that he would have snuffed it out. And to add the cherry on top to prove just how sensitive Drake was about his whole ordeal with The Weeknd, we can even see how bitter he was when he released his 100 gigs for your head top, which included tons of behind the scenes and unreleased footage of him creating albums and touring. In one of the videos, it showed Drake refusing to dap up The Weeknd when meeting him backstage. Take a look for yourself.
Good to see you. You too, man. Yes, sir. How are you? What's up, boy? Good. You have fun? Of course, bro. I almost cried 4 times. That's why I was in shit. Oh, okay. What's up, man? Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Glad you came.
So, where does this mindset in Drake come from? Well,
The disrespect. The disrespect, bro. That's crazy. I would have walked out of that bitch and been gone. Like, all right, then, bet. Say less. I don't need to be here. Why I need to be here if you're not going to greet me? That's wild. Wow.
Well, the most logical answer is that it's always been in him. And now that he's in the driver's seat, it has mutated into something far more malicious. Back in the day, Drake was open about the fact that he wasn't the toughest guy.
Melissa asks, tweets, Drake claims he wasn't cool in high school. What made you uncool?
I just didn't, it wasn't that I wasn't cool, it was that the kids that were cool, I wasn't on their wavelength, which made me sort of uncool, I guess. So like, you know, it was, I just always felt like an outsider. I went, when I was in Forest Hill, you know, it was an all Jewish school, like, and just being biracial, but still being Jewish, so I was like kind of connected to the kids, but like sort of distant. And when, you know, when kids are young, they don't necessarily comprehend everything.
Right.
So it can get a little cruel and a little mean.
Yeah. You know what? And I give him complete praise for even like admitting this, you know, out to the world. I feel like as a real, like, you're a real man to be able to talk about some shit like this and admit it, you know what I mean? Because it's true. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be feeling bad for some of these, you know, biracial people because they really have to go through it when it comes to identity crisis, when it comes to which clique they're supposed to be in. Like, I completely understand what he's talking about. Because I've seen it firsthand. You know, I'm brown skinned, so I automatically, you know what I'm saying, I'm cool with everybody. But I can see exactly what he's talking about. So, and yes, high school can get very cruel and very mean and it can be a lot. Like, if anything, I think people need to start talking more about how wild it can get in high school. But once again, I do give him full praise for this. This is probably the one thing I give him full credit on. Like, you are definitely a real ass dude for at least admitting this and being able to share it. You know what I mean? So, but it's like, if this is what's causing your behavior, buddy, you on the wrong path.
You get teased a lot?
And I mean, causing his behavior today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I got it, you know. I got it, definitely.
He even opened up about it in the past, where he explained that he pined for his acceptance in hip-hop. I used to be so self-conscious about the strikes against me, being from Canada, being on a TV show, being super light-skinned. Now, it gives me the chance to accept that I am something different. Maybe I don't need to be the next Kanye, maybe I don't need to be the next Wayne. I could just be the first Drake. But where that would usually be seen as
That's what I'm saying. If he just continued to just be himself, like, maybe all this wouldn't even really be happening for real. You know what I mean? Because I feel like today he's just trying to put on some type of persona of being like a semi gangster or something, or like, you know, I don't know. I miss the old Drake. I ain't gonna lie.
That kind of vulnerability actually worked to his benefit, rather than the spiteful anger
it
that it has
gave
morphed
him the
into
success
today.
now. What do you think? Oh my gosh! Like,
As a result, people now feel the fame has changed Drizzy for the worse. This Drake should have stayed. Drake was much more authentic here. People could clown him for being soft or uncool or whatever, but at least he was being real to himself. Not the fake tough guy mafia don he pretends to be now. Instead of being mocked for his perceived softness, Drake is now experiencing what it feels like when your entitled attitude means that people are now reveling in your downfall and see your attitude for what it is.
They want the brother pass. Like, they want, like, if they want, like, the relationship pass where, like, if you're cool with them in the industry, they feel like you cannot like the opposition's music. You can't be honest. You have to, like, dick ride them. That's not okay, bro. That's not healthy. That's not reality. That's sore losing mentality. You're Drake. You should be greater than this. You're better than this. You lost. Move on. And if you're going to be tight at people and you're going to be mad at people's reactions, then come back with a fucking banger. Come back. Keep the battle going. Instead, you drop Sexy Red. Yeah. You're my everything. BBL Drizzy. And then now you happen on a Toronto comedian parody song. The shit's not adding up. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, is this guy, like, he's gonna DM us next? He might DM me now after seeing this clip.
Left taking L after L, it's...
Oh, come on, dude. The video is literally almost over. Are you serious? I'm sorry, y'all. This internet keep going. I don't even know what the problem is. Oh, man. No, I totally, completely agree with everything that is being said right now, especially when it comes to this whole, like, this whole persona he's putting on. Because I remember back in the day, like, a lot of black women really loved Drake because of how vulnerable he was, because the fact that he was able to express his emotions and be real to himself and this, and, like, that's what really got him to pop off. Him just being himself, being the light-skinned Jewish that he is. You know what I mean? And so it seems like throughout the years, his persona really did change completely all around. I think I even remembered seeing Drake, like, make a post of, like, a bunch of diamonds, and it was like a necklace, and, like, all those diamonds represented all the women that he wanted to actually marry. And I'm just like, goodness, that's a little scary to me. Honestly, it really is. You wanted to marry that many women? You know, this persona he got going on, it's like I said, Drake needs to cut it out, and for real, like, just go back to being the old Drake, because that's really where all your success started, where all your supporters really came from, was just you being yourself, strictly just being yourself, straight up. I don't know why my internet's not coming back on when it should be. I'll be back, guys. This is annoying as fuck, honestly. Okay. That is weird as hell. Oh, dang it. I gotta put my I gotta put my password back in. Oh, no, I'm good. Alright. We're good, y'all. Let's continue and finish this video.
Earn a 25-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver for every $50 this Saturday
and
Sunday.
I don't give a fuck, man.
Drake has always been known to get in his feelings from time to time. It was just...
We were right about... I would say... We were somewhere right about there. Right there.
Clown him for being soft or uncool or whatever, but at least he was being real to himself, not the fake tough guy mafia don he pretends to be now. Instead of being mocked for his perceived softness, Drake is now experiencing what it feels like when your entitled attitude means that people are now reveling in your downfall and see your attitude for what it is.
They want the brother pass, like they want, like if they want opposite. That's not you lost with a fucking you parody. See my deal.
Scheme played Not Like Us in the very club after L. It's reached a point where DJ Scheme played Not Like Us in the very club that Schoolboy Q and Sir were banned from, and had a whole Toronto audience singing along to every single word.
So nigga, for him to say that, I'm like, nigga, you sounding real federal, nigga.
Real fetish, right?
I don't think academics even got a whip, dude.
If he do, his mom's Cameron.
He definitely is a minivan type of nigga.
With the auto sliding door?
Yeah, auto sliding door. Auto sliding door.
Alongside Q enjoying what happened, the real problem for Drake is that because of how he's behaved in recent years and how he's conducted himself as the fallout from the beef has transpired, he stopped being a sympathetic figure. In fact, to some younger listeners today, it seems like it's no longer even cool to like Drake. I'm telling y'all, the kids aren't messing with Drake like that. It's becoming uncool to like Drake very quickly. This is very bad for Drake in every single way.
Yeah.
Just a few years ago, it seemed impossible that the public might turn on Drake so long as he kept providing hits. But as his rash behavior has spiraled out of control, we might be on the precipice of that. And based upon all the evidence presented, the only person he has to blame for it is not K-Dot or any of his critics, but himself and the enablers that let him get to this point.
Damn. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry for the whole Wi-Fi on and Wi-Fi off. That's never really happened before, but yeah. I hope you guys liked the video. Like I said, go check out my boy Loesa. I'll leave the link and everything in the description. What do you guys think about this whole Drake sensitivity situation? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on your bell for notifications, all that jazz. If you want to show some love, show some love. If you don't want to, it's all good. Sadie's gang gonna be butthurt. I'm gonna catch y'all in another video. Deuces.